If you grew up in the rolling hills and farmlands of Iowa, you knew that shaking someone's hand still meant something. You knew that anything could be accomplished with a little elbow grease and some common sense. And you knew in the next farm over, there was Joni, someone who's not afraid to show you where she came from.
I'm Joni Ernst. I grew up castrating hogs on an Iowa farm. So when I get to Washington, I'll know how to cut pork.
So I was really impressed with the commercial, I gotta tell you.
I'd like to have her do that in Washington.
Yeah, I think I would go for it.
I love the ad. I think I had not heard of her before.
Her follow-up ad also delivers in an unusual way.
And once she sets her sights on Obamacare, Joni's gonna unload.
She pulls up on a Harley, gets out, and lays down some lead, and yeah, she's a heck of a shot. She proved right on the ad, didn't she?
It kind of encourages all of us, or it kind of inspires all of us to get on the bike and, let the wind blow through our hair.
Of course, people outside of Iowa, some of them didn't quite understand the concept, but it is so beautifully Iowa. So again, it went over very well, and people now know who I am. I'm Joni Ernst. I'm a Republican running for United States Senate. Grew up in southwest Iowa, and that's where I live today with my husband and my youngest daughter, Libby. We have 3 daughters and 6 grandchildren, and they all live in the state of Iowa. I grew up on a farm in southwest Iowa. It was near a little tiny town called Stanton.
It was a pretty rural community. I mean, the businesses survived because of the farmers.
Farming means to Iowa industry that everybody needs. It produces food for everybody, and a farmer is a person that's got to love his work because he's always made fun of and jealous of at the same time.
Farmers are really the backbone of the Midwest, and we feed the world. They mean everything to Iowa, and they mean everything to me. So our farmers today they're not just spokes in our agricultural wheel in Iowa. They are my friends, they are my family, and they are my neighbors.
My girls played with her, she played with our kids, and we're just like one big family.
I want to stay connected to that lifestyle, and I do. I live 9 miles from where I grew up on the farm, and I absolutely love it.
Joni was determined to go to college. By joining the ROTC, she was able to accomplish 2 things at once: getting her education and serving her country.
Even when I received a lot of academic scholarships to go to Iowa State University, when I came back home and decided to join Army ROTC, even my grandfather, he said, Joni, you don't have to do this. We'll find a way to help you get through college. And I said, it's not about money. It's about doing something that I want to do and really believe in.
Her desire to serve her country culminated in spending 14 months overseas in Kuwait from 2003 to 2004 for Operation Iraqi Freedom.
When Joni deployed to Kuwait and Iraq, I was very concerned with her going into harm's way, leading 150 soldiers into combat, but I was reassured that she was absolutely the right person to lead those 150 soldiers into combat and bring them all back safe and sound.
Commanding a transport unit was no easy task. Joni knew she had to get the job done.
Well, to call it extremely hot would be an understatement. There were many days, most of which our uniforms are stuck to our back, and Joni's was as well. She didn't just hang out in some air-conditioned command post tent or anything. She was out there doing the job with the rest of us, and our job is primarily bringing supplies, water, and ammunition and other items of importance into Iraq. And when we made those runs with those back and forth, she was there, boots on the ground, making sure that everybody got back safely to Iowa.
I spent 28 years on active duty, and you have officers that participated in everything the soldiers did, and you had officers that stayed in the rear. Joni, when they had convoys up to Baghdad International Airport and into southern Iraq, Joni went on these convoys. She shared the dangers of the IEDs on the roads with her soldiers.
Of the many commanders I've had, I never agreed with any of them 100% on anything, but with Joni, everything was straightforward, nothing was under the table. With Joni, everything was different. She said to us, look around each other to your left and to your right. These are the amount of people we have here. Well, that's the same amount of people that I want to see when we come back to Iowa. And in our final formations, before finally being dismissed from all this, Joni thanked everybody for doing their job, not just the platoon I was in, but the whole company. And commanders never have to thank their troops for doing their job. That's not part of the job description. Joni chose to anyway, because that's the type of person that Joni is.
After a successful mission, Joni returned home to Iowa, eager and ready to continue to serve.
I think when you're from a small community like both of us are, you know how important it is to give back and really be a part of the success of that community. And I could just sense that right away with Joni, that she was not, obviously somebody that's willing to serve our country and our state and defend our freedoms, but she had that same public service that she wanted to continue to serve by being a county auditor in Montgomery County.
Joni continued to give back and serve her home state as Montgomery County Auditor and State Senator, with a little bit of common sense that goes a long way in Iowa.
That comes from the base in Iowa. A lot of Iowa farm families and everything just got common sense. That's a chapter a lot of them don't get in college. They have to grow up with it.